Hey, I just want to take a brief tour of a spreadsheet to give you some of the basic ideas behind spreadsheets. In this example, I'm using the Google spreadsheet. This is Google Sheets. That's a free spreadsheet to use. I won't use it every time I do a demo like this, but it's one that you probably have pretty easy access to. All right, so what is a spreadsheet? It's kind of a universal tool for doing all kinds of tasks. Pretty much you can think of it this way. If someone ever tells you that you can't do something with a spreadsheet, they're probably wrong. Now, there might be a better tool to use, but you can probably do it with a spreadsheet. Okay, so a spreadsheet consists of a grid of what we call cells. So here's a cell, and I'm just going to type the word cell into that one. So, and spreadsheets are huge, so they go clear across to the letter Z up top and way down the bottom. There's thousands of cells in a spreadsheet. Okay. And each cell has a unique identifier. So they're labeled first by their column and then by their row. Okay. So this cell, if I highlight just this cell, there's a little window up here, the name box, that just tells me what the name of this cell is. It's A1. This is B1, C1, D1, and then D2, D3, D4, D5, and so on. Okay. So this cell is B2 if I just type the label into it. I'm just typing text into the cells for now. There are other things we could do. I could highlight a range of cells. So I can just click on a cell, hold the mouse down and drag. And now I've got a range of cells. And you can see in the name box here, it's telling me this range that I've selected is A3 to C7. That's the upper left cell, A3, down to the lower right cell, C7. Okay, so you can do ranges as well. Here's another range. Let's just pick one column, D2 to D14. Okay, so we're staying in row column D, and we're in cells 2. We've selected cells 2 to 14. Okay, and same with rows. You can select a row like this. This is B5 to G5. So we're in row 5, but we've gone from columns B to G. Okay. So pretty simple. All right, there's 3 things that we can put inside of cells. We can put text, which we already have. The word cell and the label B2 are just text, and the word text is text. I can put any text I want in a cell. I can put text, I can put numbers, which we'll get to in a minute, and the last thing is I can put formulas. Okay, so those are the 3 things that cells can hold. And we've already illustrated text. You can do other things with text. You can, type full sentences. If I could type full sentences, and they can, in certain circumstances, they'll just overrun the borders of the box. If you wanted to make the cell wider, you can change the width of the column. So that's something you can do. You can also change the height of the row if you want, just by dragging. In this case, if I put something else in here, I'll just put the word "the" in here, it's going to cut off that sentence. Okay. There are all kinds of ways to type text into cells. You can have text wrap and all kinds of things. You can change the color, so you could come up here and just change the text color to red if you want. Okay. Lots of things you can do. There's lots of formatting tools for making nice looking tables and figures and things like that. All right, so that's text. Numbers. So let's put some numbers in a cell. We can put 3.1415, put decimal numbers. We can put integers. We can put numbers in scientific notation. 6.626 times 10 to the minus 34th. Okay, so this is just like on your calculator. E is a little abbreviation that means times 10 to the. So this is 6.626 times 10 to the negative 34th. We could put in the date 8/11/21. It happens to be my sister's birthday, and that has a date format. So And there are all kinds of date formats that you can use. You can come in here to format numbers, and there's all kinds of date and financial formatting for numbers, and all kinds of other things like that. Cursor changes, and I can pull that down, and it'll just extend this pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it just counts by ones. And if I only wanted to go to 10, I could just delete those. Okay. It'll recognize lots of patterns. 2, 4. That's probably enough. I just want to get rid of these, make these integers. Okay. So 2, 4. Let's see if it extends that as counting by even numbers. Sure does. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. I can count by threes. 3, 6, 9. And I just put a pattern in there, and the spreadsheet will know how to extend it. Okay. I can count by 25. 0, 25, 50. And let's see what it does. Yeah, it knows what to do. So that's a very handy thing. Okay. All right. Formulas. Well, there's a couple ways to look at formulas. One way is very simple, and that is just to consider that every cell can be used as a calculator. Okay? So if I wanted to know what 7 times 24 is, I can just say equals. Whenever I start a cell with equals, what I'm telling the machine to do is to consider what I'm typing in here to be a formula. Okay? So 7 times, I always use the star for times, 24. In any computer programming, star means times, okay, multiplication. 7 times 24 is 168. So I've just used that as a calculator. What is 168 divided by 7? Notice I didn't put the equal sign in there, so it's just thinking that's text, actually. So what I'll do is put an equal sign in front of that to denote that it's a formula, and I get 24. Okay, so I get my answer. What is 2 times 2? Okay, and so forth. So you can use each cell as a calculator, and that can come in handy sometimes. When you're trying to work something out and you've got a spreadsheet in front of you and you just need to do a quick multiplication, like say, what is pi times 4.2? And oops. I think it does not know what pi is because pi is supposed to be a function like that. There we go. We'll cover that more later on. But anyway, there's all kinds of things that you can do with each cell as a calculator. But that's not, while that's handy sometimes, you wouldn't want to type in a formula for every cell. Okay. So let's go down and let's put in a row of numbers. Let's say 1, 2, 3, and let's extend those a little ways so we have some numbers to work with. And let's say we wanted to do, in fact, you know what? I'm going to grab this and just move it down. Move it down one cell. I'm going to put a label up here. So let's put our number. And let's say multiply by 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a formula in this cell. I'm going to say this cell is equal to this number, whatever's in this cell. And this cell is B19. So I'm going to type in B19 and then multiply by 5. Okay, so this cell should now, when I hit enter, this cell says this cell should be equal to whatever's in B19 multiplied by 5. So that should be 5 times 1, and it's giving me a little preview there. So 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, I can do the same thing here. I'm going to say equal to B20 times 5, and that's fine. 5 times 2 is 10, and that's good. All right. Let's automate this a little bit. Let's say we'll do the same thing here. This cell is equal to, but I don't want to type in B21, B22 all the time. All I need to do is just go over and click on that cell, one single click, and it fills it in for me, B21. And then I'll just do times 5. Okay. But you notice, so that's one level of automation, but there's another one that we can do, which is we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same pattern in this column. We're multiplying everything to the left by 5. So really, I just need an instruction that says, hey, take whatever on the left and multiply it by 5. So I've already got this pattern going. So if I highlight this and I just drag this down, you can see that, let's just click on this cell here. Here's the formula. It equals B31 times 5. B31, here's cell B31, multiplied by 5 gives you 65, and that's right. Okay, so you can drag these formulas, and it will drag these what we call cell references down with them. Okay, so so you can see that if I just walk down this row, I have B20 times 5, B21, B22, B23, B24, and so forth. I'm looking at this orange up here. Okay, let's do another one. Let's say divide by 6. Okay, so we're going to say this is equal to, let's go back to this number here, and we'll say divide, that's the / divide by 6. Hit enter, I get a decimal number, which I expected, 1/6. And let's just go ahead and drag that down. Okay, so now all of these numbers are this number divided by 6. Okay. Let's do a couple more. Let's say, let's just make a little notation for ourselves here. Let's say column 1, let's say column C multiplied by column D. This is not a formula, it's just a piece of text, just a column heading really. So what do we want to do? We want to multiply whatever's in column C by column D. So this is going to be equal to this number times this number. And I'm just doing those by highlighting. And you can see the little editor breaks these up into colors so we can easily identify what's being used, and then it gives us a little preview of the answer. Okay. So, and Google Sheets likes to give you these autofills. I generally skip these and just drag. Okay, so that's my pattern, and now I can just drag it down. And so every number that's highlighted in blue here is just the product of the two numbers to the left of it. Okay, and I don't like the way this looks here, so I'm going to get rid of some of the decimal precision here. Maybe make it like that or like that. Okay, and that sort of depends on what you want to, what sort of precision you want to have in your data table or whatever you're working on. Maybe you're working on finances and it's just going to be always to the hundreds place. I can do some other things with this. I can format these things so that they're shifted to the right. Maybe I want them boldface and so forth. You can put grid lines, you can do all kinds of formatting that I won't go into here. Okay, so just to recap, a spreadsheet is a whole grid of cells, almost an infinite number of cells for most purposes. You can put text, numbers, and formulas into a cell. Those are the three things that can go into a cell. Patterns can be dragged down. Formulas can refer to specific cells. And those formula patterns can be dragged down too. So making your life as sort of a spreadsheet programmer a lot easier. Okay, so that's our basic anatomy of a spreadsheet using the Google Sheets program. But it's the same on any spreadsheet you use, Excel or LibreOffice or Numbers, anything like that. All right, good luck.